The sexiest socialist state in the world, Wednesday at 7:30.
We are a nation of adrenaline junkies, addicted to getting high. But getting high doesn't have to be deadly. It can be healthy and inspirational. Tonight, we want you to choose your addictions before they choose you, as we go in search of the ultimate high. The ultimate high is a personal quest. A personal quest to go beyond the ordinary, to expand the boundaries of human experience. I'm Melody Rogers, and tonight we want you to join us in this quest. And all you have to do is sit back, relax, and just get high with Two on the Town. The ultimate high is about potential. We all begin as unbridled bundles of emotion, tightly coiled, ready to spring loose on an unsuspecting world. We are nature's most intricate raw material, primed with the awesome capacity to dream and develop, imagine and create. Between imagination and reality, there is a thin and daring line, a line crossed daily in the circus. In this world, extraordinary feats are everyday deeds, and getting high is a way of life.
It's a thrill. The height is a thrill. We choose it for that. We like the danger. Now I always like to have the feeling from you're just not gonna make it anymore. You have about a quarter of seconds, you have 65 miles per hour. You lose your vision automatically, even if you keep your eyes open, you know, they just go dark on you because of the speed you get.
Without the risk of failure, there is no success.
The biggest moment for me is doing something, and as I'm doing it, knowing, looking at people's faces and knowing that they're amazed.
The circus is an imaginative showcase of what the human body can do without drugs or alcohol. We forget that this marvelous machine is our most natural source for getting high, and that we can shape it any way we want. The human body contains more potent chemicals than you'll ever find on the drug market. Chemicals able to produce everything from euphoria to pain. For bodybuilders, pain is simply an obstacle to the perfect physique, a barrier overcome with sheer discipline.
How much can I go through? How much can I take? Once you've achieved it, once you've gone through it, once you've taken it, how much more can you bestow upon yourself?
Bodybuilders endure pain to be noticed. Some may call it vanity, but others see it as pumping for pride and flexing with self-esteem.
I can walk down the beach with a bathing suit on and know that I could have anybody on the beach. I guess that's not cool to say that. Take that back.
You know, a woman may say, oh, well, he looks great, and her husband with a stomach hanging out to here will go, oh, well, as soon as he quits, he's going to turn into a ball of fat.
I could be a mute and walk down the street and anyone can see what I do with myself.
Getting ready for a competition particularly, it's even more of a high.
Playing the game is not important, it's winning or losing, and losing does not come in my frame of mind at any point or stage.
Physical achievement can lead to more than recognition and reward. It can also lead to spiritual growth.
No such thing in sport as just the physical. You take your brain out or your mind out, your body's not going to be functioning.
The world's most popular form of martial arts is Taekwondo. Here, kicks, punches, and blocks are basic tools. Balance, motion, and force, basic principles. When you harness these to willpower, you have the Taekwondo way of getting high.
It teaches you to control your fears, your anxieties, your insecurities. And that's what it is. It's the teaching of self-control.
Taekwondo really isn't violent. You have to understand that Taekwondo is an art form. It's a discipline of the mind, body, and spirit.
You cannot perfect a technique through meditation. I know some people would like to believe that. You perfect a kick or a punch or a specific movement through doing it thousands and thousands of times.
When you go through the struggle and you think that you can't do another kick or you can't do another punch and you do it, you know, that's where the high comes in.
The human body is a temple. We pay homage to its remarkable form and glorify its achievements. But faith in our physical potential is no match for what some consider the ultimate faith.
You really want to get charged up? You really want power? You really want joy? Well done! Well done! Well done! Well done! That's what!
Man is a trilogy made up of body, soul, and spirit. We don't have much trouble working on the body. We're constantly painting it up, fixing it up, working it out. We don't have a big problem there. But we do have a lot of problem with the spiritual man.
We don't need another party. We don't need another drink. We don't need another shot. We don't need another snort. But what we need is the baptism of the Holy Ghost.
Hallelujah! No one can pick you up and turn you around. Can give you life everlasting. Hallelujah! Oh, Jesus is. Hallelujah! Jesus is the one.
I hate drugs with a passion. I had a father who was an alcoholic, a grandfather who was an alcoholic. I buried my sister at 30 years old who was a heroin addict.
Oh, hallelujah! I know the world don't believe it. They think you can live any kind of way and do anything you want to do, and God is going to receive it. Yes, he's a God of love, but he's also a judge, and don't no sin enter the city. Oh, well done. Yes, yes, that's right. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, that's right.
Everybody has an innate desire to worship and to try to fulfill that void that is in man. The only way that void can truly be fulfilled is a man finds out who God is and how to worship him.
Tonight, what does Allie propose to do about Jenny's proposition?
Don't rush me. I'm not Dr. Ruth.
Kate and Allie. Then,
Rate your mate.
what would we do without little sisters?
You don't have mates.
My Sister Sam. And on Newhart, will Stephanie survive? Without Michael?
I'm a desperate woman. I vacuumed under a bed.
Then, the awful odds on marriage.
According to this, your age group has a better chance of being killed by a terrorist.
Designing Women, tonight on CBS.
How's this for a chilling thought? A rerun of the Jerry Brown days. Gray Davis, my opponent for state controller, ran the show for Jerry Brown. They deep-sixed our freeways, spread the medfly, chased jobs out of the state, and gave us Rose Bird. And then handed us $1.5 billion deficit. Wasn't that enough? I guarantee you, as your controller, I'll never forget that it's your money and not the government's.
Vote for Senator Bill Campbell for state controller.
Attention Vons shoppers. By shopping at Ralph's instead of Vons, so far this year you could have already saved more than $178. Now save even more with specials like this. This week you can get your Halloween film developed at prices that won't scare you. Giant prints on Kodak paper start at only $1.99 for 12 exposures. Plus they're up to 50% larger than standard supermarket economy prints.
No wonder more people shop at Ralph's, where lower prices and higher standards have been verified.
Tom Bradley again denounced oil drilling off California's coast. Meanwhile, Governor Duke Majan said he favors massive offshore drilling and he wants to abolish the Coastal Commission. Duke Majan's statement came after he received $498,000 from oil companies.
Proposition 65 keeps chemicals that cause cancer out of our drinking water and doubles penalties for polluters. That's why chemical and oil companies are raising $6 million to oppose it. Don't be fooled. Vote yes on 65.
The proceeding was a paid political announcement.
To some, the ultimate high is an obsession, a challenge, a devotion, a thrill. Anything that you're willing to work for. Artistic achievements are a tribute to imagination. Now, every one of you out there has some spark of creativity. And when that spark glows, you know you can't help but feel high. Rogers is a world-class choreographer, now working on the TV series Fame. He's an artistic alchemist who turns raw talent into imaginative form with finesse. He's devoted to his craft and wired with a purpose, a man who has found his ultimate high.
There's an adrenaline that goes off and there's a taste in your throat. It's kind of a garlic or something. It puts you on verve. That's what performers are about.
Dancing is like a high, you know, and when you go, it's spiritual to me. It's like coming from inside.
It's like painting. You have to use your body like a paintbrush. You have to work it with with the colors. You're like a color, and you have to bring out the colors. I used to be a gymnast, and that was definitely competition, and it's gymnastics. This is definitely art.
To imagine dance without music. They're artistic soulmates. They share the same chemistry. Dance may put your feet firmly on the ground, but music can take you higher and higher.
When there's just a great part of the music that, like, when everybody's playing, you just get this great rush of a feeling inside of you. It's like nothing else.
Everyone has magic. And that magic, in some sense, is genius. But it has to be when all your energies are harmonious. At that point, there's nothing you can't do.
You just want something so bad, and your concentration and your dedication to music is the most powerful thing in your life. Artistic skills and temperaments don't just happen overnight. They must be nurtured. We have an enormous capacity to learn. And when we fuse what we learn with the spontaneity of the moment, something special occurs.
The ace is when you bring something else, which is yourself, inside. You bring your history, your journey, and you add that to the meal that's being served. At that point, it becomes delicious. Then it's gourmet.
He doesn't let you get by with anything. You have to do your best or forget it.
He's like a dad, and then he's positive too. And you don't say that you can't, because you will do it.
Hello? Lock in, lock in, lock in.
Jaime Rogers is a man driven by dance and a teacher committed to excellence. He's a man who lives to get high and gets high to live.
People look for the high because it's part of your inner spirit. It separates you from everything else. It gives you a sense of individual identification, where it says, me.
I'm Alcott. I'm Andrews. The outstanding woman in the corporate world doesn't wear a uniform. She needs an elegant, versatile, beautifully made wardrobe that suits her personal style.
But she's too busy running from meeting to meeting, so she can't be running from store to store. She needs one store where she can get the quality of clothing she wants.
And the personal service she needs at prices that don't insult her intelligence. It's wonderful. Isn't it great?
Alcott and Andrews, South Coast Plaza.
There are hundreds of fine wines, but there's still one frozen dinner fine enough to serve with them. Le Menu. Each is an exquisite balance of tastes, like chicken parmesan with creamy fettuccine alfredo and crisp Italian green beans. Perhaps the only 10-minute dinner that deserves a 10-year-old wine. Le Menu.
We've equipped the Nintendo Entertainment System with the first interactive video robot, the first light-sensing video gun, and the largest selection of video game hits. The result? The Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
Training to become a black belt taught Conway Collis a lot about discipline, hard work, and protecting oneself. Now, as a member of the State Board of Equalization, he's fighting hard to protect you from unfair tax treatment. With innovative programs like his open office days, Conway Collis has helped thousands of Californians resolve their tax problems, often within 24 hours.
My job is to help you fight through it.
Conway Collis, a fighter for you.
We all know that it's easy to go for the quick fix, to use drugs and alcohol as the antidote to struggle, the panacea for pain. For instance, in the diverse world of sports, many athletes turn pain and struggle into winning ways. They shed light on the power of positive addictions, the power of getting high. Nature is both healing force and hellraiser. Throughout history, we've engaged in a playful game of discovery and domination with the elements. Surfers in particular recognize nature's power to arouse emotion, taunt our spirit, and soothe our sorrows. For them, it is the most natural source for getting high.
Take a hit by Lyle Alzado, and times that times 1,000, and you only got a fraction of the kind of power you're dealing with in the ocean. Every wave you catch, you have to improvise. So you're completely creating everything you do, because unlike any other sport in the world, no wave you catch is the same. I think that part of what makes it a natural high is that you're dealing with something that is uncontrollable. If you're dealing with something like the ocean and that type of magnified power, it's incredible because it's always a risk.
Nature waits for no man, but seems to keep every man waiting. It is a timeless teacher of patience and risk, scarce commodities in a hyperactive world. Athletes take risks every day, They make a routine out of pushing the boundaries of endurance and skill. They're in a constant search for that moment when everything flows without prompting, when the pain and struggle of training pays off.
Being on the back of a pole with it bent 90 degrees and getting rocketed up in the air is probably one of the best feelings I've ever had, and I think that keeps you going.
Marathoners, after 20 to 22 miles into a race, typically describe a state of mind they call a runner's high. Here, muscle memory takes over. Physical exhaustion is cleverly masked by a chemical reaction in the brain, and the mind is elevated over matter.
It's like driving a high-performance car. It's just all the gears are there, and you just feel this power just running.
What started out as a fitness fad is now a classic California high. It's aerobics.
It's a physical high with just the adrenaline pumping through your body, and then it's an emotional high when it's all over and you can look back and say, I did a really good job.
Unfortunately, it has its addictions because you get used to being up on that level, and when you're not exercising, then I suffer emotionally from it.
Part dance, part calisthenics, part style. Aerobics is the fashionable way to rise above the daily grind. You don't need raw talent to make these moves, but you do need willpower, rhythm, and lots of stamina.
Without a purpose, there's no reason to live, I don't think. You need to have a purpose. You need to have a goal.
The experience that comes immediately to mind was the performance of a chorus line on Broadway at the Schubert Theater that made it the longest running show in Broadway's history. And I was in that performance. And that night in that theater was a night like no other. I mean, it was like my soul was leaving my body. Well, they asked me about the F-106, and I was excited. Yes, I was afraid. What I was afraid of was having to eject. I mean, I didn't want to die. It was incredible. I mean, that's getting high. It was like being at one with one of God's creatures. I wasn't afraid at all. And boy, he took me around that pond, and it was just one of the most exciting things I've ever experienced. I really didn't feel like Melody anymore. I felt like Marilyn Monroe, and I want to tell you, for a few minutes, that feels real good.
These rocks don't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
We did a story a couple years ago on an adoption agency, and because of that story, 2 little boys were adopted. I mean, to think that by them seeing these 2 little boys, I mean, I'm getting all choked up about this, that they were able to find a home, you know, I mean, that makes you feel pretty high.
I remember drinking, but not the accident.
Call Schick.
What's it like?
Very professional. My counselor had been down the road himself, knew just what I was going through. The doctors and nurses were great. They really cared.
It only takes 10 days?
And a couple of 2-day follow-ups.
Will you drive me over?
What are brothers for?
Schick has the #1 success rate and also treats cocaine dependency.
Leo McCarthy almost fooled us. McCarthy admits he lied about Mike Curb. McCarthy admits to using illegal television ads. He admits to trying to destroy your Proposition 13 tax cuts and raise your taxes. Leo McCarthy admits he voted against tough anti-drug laws. McCarthy admits he voted against the death penalty. Now McCarthy admits he's going to vote for Rose Bird. Think of your future. Elect Governor Duke Majan's choice for Lieutenant Governor, Mike Curb.
A
world of silence is now filled with sound for John Myers, Tina Fleming, and others. Health editor Steve Gendell reports on the medical miracle that is breaking the silence, Wednesday at 4 on First Edition. Then on Live at 5, Channel 2's Ross Becker is deckside with the men and women who work, live, and serve on the city at sea, Wednesday on Channel 2 News.
We've heard the campaign rhetoric. Now let the nonpartisan Los Angeles Times set the record straight on the race for controller.
The Times endorses Gray Davis over Bill Campbell for controller. Campbell has reflected the old school of politics, getting along by going along, representing special interest. Davis is independent, squeaky clean. He'll serve the state well.
Gray Davis will be an outstanding controller. One man can make a difference. Gray Davis for controller.
It's a country that combines the pleasures of the Riviera, the sensuality of Rio, and the wonders of Venice. It's Europe's best-kept secret. It's one of a kind. It's Yugoslavia. Travel with Two in the Town to the sexiest socialist state in the world, a land of ancient cities and nubile bodies, crystal clear lakes and spectacular mountains, old world charm and new world looks. Discover Yugoslavia on Two in the Town Wednesday at 7:30 on Channel 2.
Getting high doesn't have to be deadly. It can be healthy and inspirational. Think for a moment about your dreams and aspirations. Then make a personal commitment to do something about them. And believe me, in time, you will find your ultimate high. Thanks for being with us, and good night.
Travel to Europe's best-kept secret, a land of ancient cities and crystal-clear lakes, old-world charm and new-world looks. Discover Yugoslavia on Two in the Town Wednesday at 7:30.